What's going on, guys? It's your Crispier, and today I got a bit of a special video for you guys today. So, you ever by yourself and your mind wanders a little bit, and then all of a sudden, before you realize it, you got a finger up your butt, and it's your own finger. Nothing compares to the euphoric feeling of sticking your finger up your butt, moving it around, digging for gold. How does that relate to the video today? I'll tell you. Today, we're going to be going over what Pokemon, specifically from the Kanto region, could or could not be good at digging in their own butt. So we're going to go along and rate a few of the original 151, and I'm going to tell you how well I think they would or wouldn't be able to dig in their butt. So, first, we got to go with the poster boy of the series, Pikachu. Now, with Pikachu, its tail is a bit rigid, and I don't think its limbs, its arms or legs would be long enough to reach its own butt. So for that, I think it's not going to be that good at digging in its butt. I'd probably give it a 1 to 2 out of 10 on the butt digging scale. Not that good. Next, we got Charizard. Now, the interesting thing with Charizard is, yes, its arms and legs are short, but its tail's got some good length on it, and I think it'd be able to reach. However, it does have the flame on the end of its tail, so I think it would probably burn a little bit if it tried to use its tail to dig in its butt. However, Charizard is a fire type, so I don't believe it would be too much of a problem. But for pure inconvenience, I'd say Charizard's butt digability is probably a 4 out of 10. Next, we got Blastoise. Now, Blastoise, I'm going to just say it, not good, 0 out of 10. Limbs too short and the cannons are not bendable at all. It's not going to be able to reach in its butt, 0 out of 10. Next. So now we got Venusaur. With Venusaur, at first looks, you wouldn't think it would be that good at digging in its butt, because one, it's on all fours, and two, its limbs are short and it wouldn't be able to reach. However, once you factor in the fact that it can move its own vines freely, the possibilities are endless. You let Venusaur use a quick little vine whip, and it's reaching in there and it's sliding straight in there. Venusaur's butt digability, 10 out of 10. Perfect score. Next, we got the Diglett and Dugtrio line. Since Diglett and Dugtrio look like poop coming out of the butthole, if it goes back into its hole, then technically could be digging in its butt, but I don't know where the butt on a Diglett or Dugtrio would be. Would Diglett have one butthole, and would Dugtrio have one butthole, or would Dugtrio have 3 buttholes? Or would Diglett not even have a butthole at all? Very confusing Pokemon in regards to butt digability. But if it does have a butthole, then I'm going to say 5 out of 10. If no butthole, 0 out of 10, because it can't dig in a butt if it doesn't have a butt. Next, the Geodude line. The Geodude line is interesting because in its first stage, Geodude, it's got good reachability. It's probably getting in there pretty solid with its small body and longer arms compared to the rest of its frame. I'm giving Geodude an 8 out of 10. Now, when it evolves into Graveler, it's got a bit of a bigger frame, but it also has bigger arms, and there's 4 of them. So, with the decreased maneuverability of Graveler, I'm going to knock it down to a 7 out of 10. Not that much of a difference, but a difference is there. Now, once it evolves into Golem, it gets an even bigger frame, and it loses a pair of its arms. Golem, 2 out of 10. Not able to dig in its butt at all. Not at all, but not that well. Next, we got Ghastly, 0 out of 10. it has no hands. Next. Lickitung. Lickitung is an interesting one because it depends on how nasty you want to get. While it's not going to be able to reach its butt with its hands, it's going to be able to reach its butt with its tongue. And if Lickitung is a freaky-deek ass Pokemon, then it's going to be able to dig in its butt with its tongue, and it's going to be eating its own ass. Give it a 6 out of 10. Now, me personally, I don't really like eating ass too much. Trust me, I've tried, and I'm just not a fan. Because, one, if the dude or chick has eaten some Mexican food before, or just some food that makes someone's stomach really upset, it's not gonna be pretty. Motherfuckers is gonna be squirting poop right on your tongue, and next thing you know, you got the entire city calling you the scat slurper of Miami. Do you want to be the scat slurper of Miami? No, you do not. So don't eat ass. It's not that good. It's overrated. Next, we got Dragonite. Now, earlier in its line with Dratini and Dragonair, same case as Ghastly, no hands. How's it going to dig in his butt if it has no hands? That's going to be a quick 0 out of 10 for Dratini and a quick 0 out of 10 for Dragonair. However, once Dragonair evolves into Dragonite, it's a whole new game. Dragonair evolving into Dragonite is a game changer for the butt digging industry, for the love of butt digging. Dragonite, it's got arms, legs, wings, and a tail that it can move separate from the rest of its body, that it can move like any other appendage that it has on its body. So, with the tail, it's going to be able to reach up in its butt, and unlike Charizard, it doesn't have a flame on its tail, so it's not going to burn when it goes up to dig in. Dragonite, because of this, I would say it gets a 7 out of 10 on the butt digability scale. Now, out of the legendary birds of Kanto, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, the only one really worth mentioning is Articuno because of its tail. Once again, seeing a theme with these Gen 1 Pokemon and their flexible tails being able to reach around into their butt. I'm going to give it a similar score to Dragonite. We'll say 7 out of 10. Next, we got Mew. And Mew is special because it knows any move that any of the original 151 can learn. Therefore, it knows Transform. And since it knows Transform, it can transform into Venusaur and then use Vine Whip to reach around and dig in its butt. So since it can transform into Venusaur, Mew gets a 10 out of 10 on the butt digability scale. Now, I can't just sit here talking about Mew and not talk about Mewtwo. Mewtwo, being a clone of Mew, can do just about everything that Mew can do. Therefore, since it can only do just about everything Mew can do and not everything Mew can do, Mewtwo is going to get a 9 out of 10 on the butt digability scale. Anyway, that's about all I got for you guys today. If you made it this far, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you want me to cover any of the other regions. Don't forget to throw some racks or brew one's way so I can keep making these videos for you guys. That's it from me, J Crispier, out.